Welcome to another Makeup Monday. I wanted to start off by showing you the products that I've changed to. I've noticed a change in my skin as well, so I'm like, let you guys know what's going on. So I have switched to washing my face with black soap and turmeric soap helps. I wipe periodically. When I moisturize my face, what I do is in the evenings, I put on the ordinary retinol. And during the day, and I know that it says for men, but I feel like it's a little bit stronger. But this is 10% pure vitamin C. This is what I ordered on Amazon. This is what I put on during the day. I know we're not supposed to put vitamin C on during the day, but I do. I put it on and I also use the DCM moisturizer. So I put it in this container, which I travel with because I put it on not twice a day, but I make sure that I have it in a small compartment so that I don't forget. Right. I got it from DCM. I love it. It's like a daily moisturizer. It's somewhat thick in consistency, but when it absorbs in the skin, it moisturizes and plumps my skin. I love it. Even when I wipe everything off, I notice the benefits of this product. Now, I do have caffeine solution 5% by The Ordinary. I use it underneath my eyes at times. And I know we use products to correct a thing and remove a thing or to exfoliate a thing and, brighten a thing, which is our face. That's the thing. When nothing is on my face, I want to see what it's doing and how it's benefiting my skin. Also, I like to take care of the interior in terms of what I'm eating and how I'm sleeping and all that other stuff, right? So I don't want to have to depend on these things, but I'm using it for the topical purposes. So I do see the benefits in those. I just wanted to at least share that with you before we continue on. I also just jumped on this black rice eye cream. I got it from Amazon and I like it so far. The skin is thin underneath their eyes, and this hydrates and it apparently speaks about fine lines and wrinkles, so it reduces the appearance of that. So I just started using this for about 2 weeks now, and I'll let you guys know what I think. It's highly rated. Again, reviews do matter because people are using it. Everyday people like us, and we want to know what they think. But at the same time, we all have different skins, and if we're using a product and we're doing things that are canceling it due to our lifestyle, we're not going to see the change. So I needed to find out for myself. So I'll let you guys know later on in some vlogs how this is working for me. But that's what I use during the night and during the day. Right now, I have vitamin C on my face right now. I did not put the under eye cream. I will be wiping what I have on my face right now before I put on my makeup because I don't want it to be extra dewy. I don't want it to be oily and adding the oil to it as it flushes through the makeup. I just want a cream canvas. And by using these wipes, it allows, and these are Neutrogena Hydro Boost wipes. Using these wipes will allow a nice sheen on my face and it plumps it a little bit. So I think that's enough. And I also heard that there was a recall of Neutrogena. Message me below if you guys heard about that. I'm just like, let me Google it. Even when I finish this video, I'm going to definitely Google because, information is important. But I believe that there's a recall for Neutrogena wipes. I'm not sure which one, but, we're using products. So there's definitely going to be a recall to something, right? Okay, so we're going to start putting on our makeup. I wanted to do something heavy with the eyeshadow. I wanted to let you know that I am grateful for the subscribers. I'm grateful for their comments and the likes as the channel has been changing back and forth, whether it be my doing or the Lord's leading. I am showing up and I'm so thankful that you guys are here with me. Thank you. So as I wipe my face, I wanted to let you know I don't always wash my face. And remember, the skin on our face, it's delicate. So us scrubbing and exfoliating and all these things, like knowing when we need it based off of going to a dermatologist to know what's going on with our skin because of medications or our lifestyle. When we're at home, when we're taking care of our skin, we don't want to affect it more or irritate it more, right? So I don't always wash my face with soap and water or black soap and water or turmeric soap and water or even just water. I tend to wipe my face often, and because I wear makeup the days that I do, the wipes help, but it doesn't really remove all the makeup. And I know it's important to remove all the makeup, all of it, because then our pores can breathe. You know what I'm saying? We need to do that, especially a bentonite clay detox. Highly recommend once or twice a month. I highly recommend. But see a dermatologist to find out what cycle you should have and what regime you should have for your lifestyle because we're all different. But I don't wash my face often. That's my point of why I'm saying all this. And I like the results because this is part of loving myself and getting to know myself. Yours is different from mine, but I'm just sharing this with you in terms of what I'm doing right now, going forward. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be pumping up my lips before I apply lipstick, and I'm going to be using the Sephora Plump. Oh, which one is this? Number two. This has more of like a satin finish to it, and there is no name. It just says number two. Is there a name here? I think so. Something intense, outrageous intense. Yeah, that's not even a name. It's number two. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on my lips while we start with the eyeshadow. Actually, eyebrows and then eyeshadow. It corresponds. As for primer, I don't use primer. I go in with a setting spray. It gives it a nice tacky foundation so that when I put things on, it's in its place. And I can move it around a little bit, but I stopped using primer a long time ago. Foundation I use, I find that the foundation moves a little bit, and I'm like, no, let me just, so I wiped it off. I sprayed, start doing what I got to do, whether it be concealer, foundation, or foundation and concealer, or whatever the case may be, or even skin tint, and it works really well for what I'm doing. So I'm going to do my brows quickly and then we're going to jump into the eyeshadow. Okay, so did the brows. They're a little bit intense because the eyeshadow look is going to be intense, right? So I didn't want it's going to correspond with the eyeshadow look. That's my point. Especially when you have an idea of what you're going to do, then you execute it that way. And I normally do that with clients. For myself, being here on Makeup Mondays, it's a place for me to try things out and try different looks and play around with different things. And I know we see a look and we want to like cut crease or smoky or subtle or a wing or whatever. But here I'm just as soon as I pick it up, I'm like, okay, Makeup Mondays, let's just create it, and then you guys will see the thumbnail and all that stuff. But right now I have an idea of what I'm sharing with you, hence why you're hearing some of the music, and I will talk through it because I noticed some of you guys really enjoy it, and I do too. I like talking through it because I'm like, someone calls me Chatazan, I'm like, yeah, you know what, let me stand to my title. Okay, let me stand to what you're saying, because yes, I do talk as long as it's sense, right? And to those that want to hear, we have a choice. Okay, so I have this eyeshadow palette. You can see that I'm using this mirror that broke off with this palette. I had many of these. I gave some of these away because somebody blessed me with it. This is the Urban Decay Vice palette, and I do like the shades that are going on here, the color theory. I love it. And I'm like, okay, let me play with this. I got some other eyeshadows here, but when you're doing this and you're watching with me, pick a palette that you like, pick some colors that you like, pick some vibrant colors that you like, and put it in place of what I'm going to be showing you here, right? Because remember, our faces are different, but in terms of the layout and how it's blended and stuff, you might want to grab a nugget or two from watching this video, right? So use the palette that you have. Try not to be intimidated by, oh, I don't have that color and all this stuff, and let your mind go this way. No, look here at yourself. Work with what you have. If you need something new, go into Sephora, go into a place and speak to a beauty advisor. Go to, when the base cools down. So go to Holtz and find out what palette would be good for you, because they're going to help you match, the theory color that's good for you in terms of your undertone, your skin tone, the looks, your hair color, all of that, your eyes, they will help. Okay. So don't be discouraged. Pick up the ones and twos and say, oh, I should do that with my eyes, because you're always looking at your face, right? Just like I'm looking at mine, but I'm sharing by applying on my face, but giving you a hint of like, okay, you can, what I'm saying? This is how we work together. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but long and short, I'm going to use this palette that I have that broke, and I'm going to create a nice smoky shade. I think, yeah, a smoky, intense color. So I'm looking at the royal blue, I'm looking at the fuchsia pink, I'm looking at the sultry pink, and they're all satin. So there's a sheen to it. We're going to go that route. And they're all cool colors, so they all blend together. When you have cool colors and warm colors, it will get muddy and ashy, so it's good to stay within the family. But that's another video. Let's just play. Let's just play. So right now, I know the color is going to turn out intense, so I'm going to lock the concealer that I just put on, and that is by Too Faced. Love it. This is Cookie. Love it, love it. I love the cookie, the yellow to it. I love that. I have a yellow undertone, so I sort of, stay within that for my foundation and my face. I'm going to go with the one size setting powder with a loose brush, and I love Real Techniques. Like, if you guys have seen some of my stuff, I love their brushes, and it's affordable, right? I do want to try the BK, but that's another video. So I'm going to use a little bit on the brush, make sure it's evenly distributed on the brush. So I'm going to pounce it like this in the lid so that it's soft. We don't want a whole bunch. We don't want to bake. We just want to place it so we can move other powders on there, right? So I'm just going to pat it on my eyelid. And this is transparent setting powder, so it's just locking in. And again, if you have any creases, wipe it first before you pat the powder because it will lock it. The powder locks what cream or what liquid you have put there in any area, even our foundation. So we got that. I'm going to start with a heavy color first, and I'm going to use a dense brush, a dense flat brush. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to use a dense flat brush. I said that twice, right? Because I'm looking for it. And I have so many brushes here. I have some to clean, but this is some of my brushes. So I'm trying to look, boom, for that. Okay, found this one. Love this. This is Real Techniques. Love it. I'm going to go in with a darker color. So just in case you have your palette, this is what I'm going in. Go with the darker shade that you are going to mix together. So we're going to do 4 colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to see how it plays. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to see how it plays. Now this is buttery. The eyeshadow palette here is really buttery. If you can see, it's compacted. I'm just like, it's beautiful. Eyeshadows, some people like it sheer. I like it intense so I can move it around. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to place it right on my eyelid. And again, this is a reason, I didn't even mention it. This is the reason why I don't put foundation on first. I rather put on the eyeshadow, especially if I'm going to have spillage, you know? I want to be able to execute the look confidently, even with errors, and correct it, and then put my foundation on and concealer because who wants to wipe that off and do it again, right? So there's steps to certain things. If it's a natural look, I would have done my foundation, all the stuff first. I am sweating. Can you see that burst of sweat? Oh my God. Hey! That is not nervousness. That is hormonal stuff, man. I'm 50. I'm not ashamed of it. Just embracing it. Just got to do some changes. I did have some sugar yesterday, so I find that that's when I burst the hot sweats when I have sugar. Once you educate yourself more, you know what to eat and what not to eat. But the feeling of it, I felt it coming on, and so I just embraced it. But I know how to prevent it, so I got to do that part. So I'm gonna use the same brush, same color, and the other side, the other eyelid, because I like to use the same brush when I'm applying eyeshadow. Some people use 4 or 3. I use the same one. I use the heavy dark color on one side and the light color on the other, and it blends together, especially if it's the same color family, so it's not um, stressful when I'm putting on the eyeshadow in terms of placement and different colors. So it's good to use a brush, use one side for one color, use the other side for the, and then use a clean one when you're blending certain things out. There we go. So I like to place it and pat. And when I pat, it sort of fuses it out because the intensity of the product on the brush, look at me sweating, I'm just glistening, eh? When you place it, the intensity is when you first place it, and as it dissipates on the brush and you blend it out, there's less product, so it shears it out naturally, and that's why I like pressing. So that's just another tip. And you'll see how it looks when you place it and where you need to put more. And you'll see with your eye open, where it is landing and where you want it to be, right? So it's almost the same. Just a little bit here. Okay. And you want to make sure that even if you have creases in your eyelid, that you're targeting that area by pressing it with your eyes slightly open, but closed, and just getting those lines. Because if your eyes open, you're doing it, and then you look down, you'll see a line that you missed. You want to be able to get into that area with that color. You want to pack it there. Okay, so we're going to flip the brush. No, actually, we're going to keep the same. I'm going to go into the almost darker color, and I'm going to touch it right by, I might have to shake it. Oh, there we go. You can see it now, right? I like to go a little bit near the brow because that's just how I lift the eyeshadow color. I like to go almost right where the arch is. As you can see, the colors fusing in. See it? It may look like a there, but it doesn't look like that for me. Like I can see the burgundy shining through. And it helps that you have a mirror and you're looking at yourself to see the placement of it, to make sure that it's measured almost in the same area. That's why it's good to This one, then this one, this one, this one. Some people do this first and then do that one. I'm like, I gotta see it while it's like drawing. I gotta see it while I'm applying it. Okay, so we did that. Get the excess off. We're flipping it because we're going to use two lighter colors. You can use one lighter color and just go within that area, or you can use two. I'm going to be using two, but one with this brush, and then as I put my foundation on stuff, I'm going to use the fourth color within that area there. As you can see, I have fallout, which is, I'm not going to stress about it. I knew that was going to happen. So I'm going to go with the third color. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at that. That's dark. This is light. Place it here. Oh, see how I did it right on top of what I had on, and then just press it within that area. I'm not going where the fourth color is. I can do a little bit because the fourth color is lighter, so it's going to go on top of this color that I'm placing and just bring certain things forth because it's in the same family, right? So press it on top of what I just did and just sort of like around the same shape, right? And then pass it right there. I don't need this light color over here. You see the color theory, right? Same brush, opposite side of the dark. This one the dark, that's a light. And just press it in that area. Pack it in. Remember the eyeshadow, if it's buttery, it's easier to move around. Don't be afraid. But if you're afraid, just use a little at a time and just gradually build, because when you're fearful, the errors will start to occur and you're going to have to correct it. But if you add a little bit, there's room for error, and then there's room for correction as well. So just use a little bit and pat it in that area there. Right. I know some people think that when you use color, you look like a clown, but if you do it in the right placement, that's corresponding to your face and it will look good. But you gotta do it geared to how your face is, not how somebody else's looks. And I'm sweating. You see the sweat drip. Gosh, I'm like, what? Mm-mm. Mm. Got my water. All right, so I'm letting the sweat drip because I'm gonna wipe off, and then we're gonna do the foundation. Now we can get a fluffy brush with no product on it. Okay, you can use translucent powder if you want the consistency of like powder to powder to blend it out, but I'm just going to use a fluffy powder, a fluffy brush, and I'm going to use it to blend the outer skirts of the eyeshadow. It's locked in. That is good. Okay. Okay, see how we're playing around this? How I'm finding out now too. Okay, so with the concealer and the eyeshadow and the intensity of it, it's hardly moving. I moved it a little bit, it's hardly moving. It's not really removing the product, but it's not moving the product to cause a nice fused blend. So I'm going to use the same brush with the lighter color. Yep. And I'm going to pat it and just fuse it out that way. There we go. See, I went a little bit too high, which is okay. So if I have a paper towel, I'm going to brush the excess off. Let me show you some. Should have showed you. I'm so sorry. A blank paper towel and just take off the excess eyeshadow out of it, so it's almost clean, but it's not clean, and it's easier to blend the product out instead of placing more, which I clearly did here. And so I'm just going to blend. See, that's even better. And I love the density of this brush too, how it's fluffy. You can pack it and you can also blend it out. So if the tips are sparse, but it's dense within 3/4 of the brush. So I do enjoy that. So as you can see, outwards, see how it's moving? Love that. And just gently, you can do it like this, but the thing is, you don't have to do circles like as I say, or go like this as I'm doing. When you put the brush and you move it, you'll see how the eyeshadow is moving around. And every eyeshadow formula is different, so you got to play around with it and be open towards that. So as much as you're getting instructions by people that are professionals like me, right? When I direct it to you, I don't know what eyeshadow palette you're working with. I just know that every formula is different. So when you're playing with it, you got to move it around to see how it's moving around for you, right? Hopefully that helps. So I blend it out. That looks really nice, that indigo color. I'm going to go back in with the dark color, and this is where we're playing because we're seeing, okay, you know what, too much of this, too much of that, blend it out. We're going to go back in with the dark on the dark side here, same brush, and we're just going to press a little bit more on the outer edges. I like how the dark is better to be placed on the outer edge. Some people put it right in the center. It depends on your eye shape, okay? So I'm looking for a wing effect. So I need that darker to be concentrated right at the end to wing out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I like that. and you can see the harmony of it all. Okay. So now, since we're using the same, well, I'm using the same palette. If you like, underneath the brow bone, it needs to be a little bit lighter as it is from the concealer, but we need to lock it with powder now. We did use a translucent powder by one size, and that's just to give it a clean base. So when we're putting powders and blending, it's creating, right? It's creating in that space. But right here, concealer is there. We need powder to lock it in, which is light. You can do the same hue as light it is right now, but you can see it's a contrast where it's really light compared to what eyeshadow I put on, right? But you want to stick to your own complexion and those kind of hues that will blend in there. So I see that this one is here. Yeah, it's peachy, but I like it. So I'm going to use that one with a fluffy brush. I'm going to go in. Remember, these shades are buttery. Oh my gosh, like buttery. Look at that. Buttery. I can see you here, but I'm looking here on the screen because I'm like, yo, these colors are intense. I'm surprised that this palette didn't rock it off. Maybe I was late to the game, but I'm like, dang. All right, so just use a little bit, and I like to pat. I like to pat it in place. Even though you see the lighter color that I don't need, the color that I put on the eyeshadow, this violet color, I'm not going to remove it. I'm not going to wipe it, try to get it perfect. I like how it blended out, and I'm going to use this to fuse it and blend it together by patting on top. Do you see how it fuses out? You see how I don't have to remove that? It seems a little bit bright, but it's powder, and so once I spray, you'll see how it blends it with my complexion. As you can see, it almost looks the same color as the concealer, but I like how that turned out. We did that. We locked it in with powder. I'm gonna wipe this area here, and then we're gonna do the foundation. You notice I tore a small piece of the wipe and put the rest back in the pack because we don't need it all. I'm not going to waste a full wipe. Hold it on my finger, wipe, get rid of the fallout of the eyeshadow, and continue. So now I'm going to be using this Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist by e.l.f. I love this. This is not a dupe of the Urban Decay All Nighter, but I love this. It's affordable, and again, the formula may be similar to the ones that cost a lot, but when you find something that works, it's not that you're being cheap about it. It works. Okay, so remember the ingredients. If you want to read this to something else, it's not necessarily the cost factor. It is the formula. And again, some of the other places we get stuff from, the manufacturer may be the same as something else, and the packaging may be different. Anyway, it works. Okay, so I love this. I'm going to spray it all over. So once that sets in, we are going to, I'll do it really quickly because I know that your foundation routine is different, but if you want an in-depth foundation routine, in which I do, I will post that for you. Just comment below and let me know. So I added on my powder on top of the foundation concealer. If you want to see in-depth video of how I put on my foundations, let me know, comment below. So I interjected with the music to show you that this blush will never ever leave my rotation. This is a MAC blush called Lovejoy. Like, look at that. Don't be distracted by the nails. Look at that. Look at that. Right? And it goes with the theory because trust me, the last eyeshadow drop is right there. I don't know if you guys see it. It goes within the theory. I'm like, let me drop this on. Let me pat this in. Let me add it because it's needed. So I'm going to do this as a blush and then we're going to work on the bottom lash line. The blush landed. When you look at color and see the texture and how it lays and corresponds with an entire look, you are just like blown. This, like I said, will not leave my rotation. This is amazing. The shade, please, it goes with, as an artist, I'll tell you this, it goes with many and almost all. Just saying, just saying. All right, let's go with the lower lash line now. I had to interject. I'm just like, what? Let me tell my sisters about this. I'm going to use a flat, like a dense, low brush. As you can see, it'll just focus in that area there, right? I'm going to use the same four colors that I used, but only two. We only need two. So I'm going to go in not with the darker shade at first. I'm going to go with the second darker shade. So that's more on the burgundy side, right? And we're just going to run it. Oh, see that? Intense, like intense. Run it along the bottom lash line on the outer corners and brushing it up towards what we did on the upper lash line and just blending it in. So again, I like that up and lifted look because of the shape of my eyes. Do it the way that you see fit with your eyes. Work with it as you may because you're enhancing your look, okay? And if you have similar features to me and you like that stark look, copy me as well. But if you don't, do it softly. Just use a little bit and just blend it out nicely, okay? So again, I like to use the same brush for both colors. We're cutting down time and we're cutting down brush usage, right? So we're going to go to the other side and we're going to do the same thing. As you can see, this doesn't have any product on it, but as I put it there, it's still there, just blending it out. So again, it's an option. You don't have to do it as intense as I do. Just use a little bit of product on the brush, okay? So I'm going to use it on the other, join it with the upper eyelid to make sure that it corresponds just like the other side and it's blended in. The bottom lash line is blended in and it corresponds with what you just did on the other side. And you're creating a wing because you want that color to be like a hue on the outer parts of the upper eyelid area where you put the eyeshadow. And so I'm just going to smoke that a little bit out towards the midsection of my bottom lash line on both areas. And it helps to have a mirror that's extended out so you can see what you're doing, right? And your eyes open so you can see how the look is, but you know you might want to squint a little bit just to get into the area, right? You don't want to really flinch. Be more relaxed with what you're doing. Be more confident in knowing that if there's an area, you can actually correct it, but when you're calm and you're relaxed, your face is relaxed, right? So I'm going to bring it, this is one of the favorite things I do because of the way that my eyes are shaped. I bring that same shade on the inner parts of my eyelid, my water and water. In the inner parts of my eyes, right, and the lower part, I go a little bit lower than my waterline just to create depth. Do you see what I'm saying? And I like that the brush is a little bit pointed or angled so that I'm targeting. It's like I'm drawing in the area and just angling it, going down, bringing my eyes closer. So that's just a trick that I do with my eyes. I learned this a long time ago and I was like, I like this look. And I do it more so with my neutrals. So it's like I'm coming off of the line of my water line and going into my nose a little bit and angling it almost like an Egyptian effect. And I do it with more of my neutrals. But when I use colors, I still use it, especially when I'm going to be using a lighter eyeshadow within the inner eye area. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the darker, same brush, and pat that and work on the outer. See how that blends in? Looks so nice. On the outer bottom lash line on top of near the water line is not in the water line, but near that, just above what I just placed, and just target it in that area so it joins in with the top eyelid smoked color. Okay, you see how that looks? Same brush. And because I'm using a darker color, I can use the same brush, right? But it's all within the same family. And then just a little right there. Hopefully you can see just a little on the outer parts of my bottom lash line above the color that I just put in and blending it with the upper where the darker shade is, just like that. Hopefully you guys saw that. See how that works? Now you can smudge the bottom. I don't because the way I want it to look more Egyptian and more focused, more, contoured, not fused out underneath the lash line. I like it like this because I like it for my eyes. You can fuse out, blend it up if you like. It's up to you. If you do, use a lighter shade and just rub the outer parts, right? Especially if you have under eye bags or under eye lines, fine lines and stuff like that. And you know how it gathers and it creases in there. You can fuse it out a bit, but at the same time, I notice with fine lines, especially with clients that I have, that when I fuse it and blend it out, it camouflages the lines. So you're not seeing it anymore. So I like to use eyeshadows down there, sort of blend it and fuse it out so it gets rid of the lines that are there. It's just a matter of placement because again, concealer and eyeshadow, can transfer or even mascara can transfer. But when you're creating the eyeshadow look, you got to be mindful. And this is for my artists, I'm not sure, but this is also for you if you have lines underneath the eyes, that the placement does matter because if it's down here, it doesn't look good. If it's here and you fuse it out, that's good. If you're targeting a certain area and it's going to lock it and stay there, that's fine. It's just how you do it and where you do it. So that's another video. If you want that, let me know. Okay. Now we're going to go in. We're going to go in. No, we're going to do a liquid liner first because if we do that, then we can do that peekaboo color within the inner eye area. So allow me to put on my liquid liner. And if you're going to do the same, you could use eyeshadow. You can use eyeshadow, get an angled brush, right? You can get an angled brush like this, tap it in the eyeshadow, and dot it right along the lash line. This easier method, just a darker, like a brown or dark brown or a black, and dart it, like pat it, because this is synthetic. Pat it right by the lash line. Don't create a wing. You don't need to. If you do, just turn the brush a little bit like that and just pat it and go in this way. That's another video if you guys want to see it about. Let me do a liquid liner. I use the Epic Waterproof NYX. It's like a pen. I use this because it just swoops, and I've been doing it for years, like high school, beyond high school. When I first discovered makeup, I've been doing it. But there's other ones that have like the felt tip and whatever's comfortable for you. As long as it's like you're drawing and you're swiping, and as you're pressing, you're not pressing too much because it widens when you press. Use one that you're comfortable with. Again, eyeliner does work as well, and you can just smudge it on and sort of like, take the eyeliner and glide it along and get the same brush that I just showed you, like this, and just smudge the eyeliner and direct it where you want it and keep it linear and close to your lash line. You guys can see it, eh? I'll put a little bit more concealer on. I just don't like building up on top of it. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's okay. Okay, we made a mistake. We're not going to beat up ourselves in an example, and I will correct that after. So yes, liquid liner, do something that you're comfortable with. I don't press it heavy. I like the length of this brush because it lands. I let the tip land where I want it to, and I just glide. It's like I'm drawing. I'm not pressing too much. And when I do, it's mainly right here. I'll press the brush to get it to widen a bit, but stay within the line, the nice smooth line that I'm trying to create. I'm not going to wing it out too much because I want the color that I put there to be the focal point. There we go. See, it's just a slight flick. It's just going to correspond with the lashes. That's why I went like a thinner flick. instead of a solid one. I don't want it to be so enhanced and so pronounced. Just subtle. And I'm lightly going over it because I want to make sure that that line's not skidding. I want to make sure it's smooth. When you are doing this, you don't want too much product on the brush. You just want a little. So you just wipe the excess off and you work with what the little bit that's on it because it's a lot in a sense of what's on the brush. And you place it where you want it, the tip of it, and then you just slide. So it's the tip that's on and then I'm sliding. I'll see if I can do a closer video of just how to put on liquid liner, like a video just for that, so you guys can learn how to do it. You notice how my pinky's on my face because that's the resting place that creates balance when I'm putting my finger on my face, or even when I'm doing clients, I'll put my finger there to create balance. And before I wasn't able to talk when I did this, but because I'm so used to doing this, did you see how that dropped right there? I got too much on the brush. Oh no, it glided against my lashes and flipped it off the brush. I'm like, wow. So yeah, I'll have an in-depth video if you guys want to see how I do the liquid liner, how I press the brush against the eyelid, how it's like how you create the straight line without error and being calm about it. I want to help you guys and to be confident in what you're doing when it comes to this. So let me know if you guys. Actually, I'm gonna do the video because I'm sure it would help somebody out. And I learned this method from my mom, my biological mom, because she always used to do that. But you see how it's without the lashes, it's dark towards the lash line, so it gives it more of a shape now, more definition to the eyeshadow look. Yeah, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. So look how it just dropped right there. But there's too much liquid on the brush that it dropped, and I'll leave it. It's gonna be plain like it's a bowl. That's what's gonna happen. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna correct that fallout. I can wipe it off, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna go like that so that it's even. And I'll make sure it doesn't dry because sometimes it dries when it's within its place, and that's not good. So I'll and target that area, but there and just fuse it out. I might have to put some more blush on because oh the mole. So let me just focus on, and the pressure of the sponge also helps too. So if you're pressing it hard, you're gonna get the product to be more concentrated. If you press lightly, it's just gonna fuse out. And I don't want too much because it creates texture within that area. So I'm gonna leave that there. That looks so nice. Then I'm gonna go with the powder with the Fit Me. I'm sure you've seen it earlier. And I'm just gonna lock that in, just lightly, not so much. I'm not baking. I am a seasoned woman. I don't need to bake in this area. I do sometimes, but not with this look. Not with this look. And plus, I don't want to bake on top of powder and powder and powder. I don't want to do that because then it start, like I said, texture. You'll see the skin. You'll see it wrinkle up. You see the buildup of the powder and all the stuff you're doing that you place in that one place. And I really don't want that. So that's what I meant by textured. You see the texture. You see the skin. You see all the powder just there. And that's all you're going to be focusing on. All right, so I'm going to go back in with the blush. All right, so in terms of the lashes, I have many here, but I grabbed this one from the hair store, and this one's an Eye Envy Extend Curl C Curl Lash. So I think I'm going to do this one because I do want my eyeshadow to stand out, or I'm going to use my brand that I've had from before. I think this is Tarantula. The other one was Sketa. I think if you see my other makeup video, I put Sketa on. That would look really nice. This one is Tarantula, like Tarantula. I might do this one and cut it down a bit. Yeah. As soon as I looked at it, I was like, yes, this look good with this look. And then I have this one, the Remy 3D Invisible Band. This one I always wear is extra, extra long, but I'm not going to do that one because I want the eyeshadow to stand out and everything to be in its place and correspond together opposed to something standing out. And that's why you're saying, oh, I like your eyeshadow. No, everything needs to go well together. So this is Tarantula. See how it is? Oh, love it. Thank you for whipping out the old stuff. And yes, that's why you don't throw things out. That's why you don't throw things out. So I'm going to cut a little bit of the end. The reason why it's too full is going to go right along my lash line, just wing right off, and it's just going to be lash, right? I want to target this area here and have the ending of the lash land right there. So it corresponds with the look that I'm doing. And the beginning of the lash, you always know the shorter part always goes towards the inner parts of your eyes, right? So you cut the end, which is the wing, right? So I'm just going to cut that much off. Let me see how it looks. Right. Right. I went like this. That's why I say tarantula, because that's what it looks like. And I'm sure you guys made your comments when you see people wearing the lashes. Oh my gosh, it looks so much. It looks like spider legs. Point of reference, right? I think they know that. That's why they're like, yes, the more the better. Let me face my fears. Okay, so I cut the other side and I'm going to put them on with a little interlude of music. I know I was really feeling this one, but now, as soon as I saw the tarantula, I was like, yes, come true. I'm going to put some music on so that you guys don't have to hear me anymore and drag this on more than it needs to. All right. Okay, so as you can see, the lashes are enough. They're enough. And I did mention in a previous makeup video that lashes are they're necessary with the right look, right? And so with these ones, I believe that this is a beautiful look. And some people will say age appropriate. No, young people are doing it. No, this, that. But when you're putting on makeup and you're putting everything together and you're trying to execute a look that you envision, it does go well. Now, even though I'm demonstrating this to you as an artist and giving you some options in terms of playing and placement and stuff like that, this is something that I would do for myself. So I'm not necessarily just doing it because I'm letting you guys know that it will work for you and, this is the way to go and this is the only way to go. No, this may not be for everyone, but this may be for some. And this is also an option. It's just an option, right? There's a time and place for things. I'm going to go in with a little bit of eyeshadow again when I spoke about the inner eye area. This is what we're going to do now. We just have to wait for the lashes to go on because we don't want to make a mess. And we want to see the placement and we want it to correspond with the lashes that we have on, right? Let me make sure this is on. Yes, yes, indeed. I'm going to use a smaller brush, more of a pointed brush and a compacted brush that targets, like you'll see as you press it, it just is small. So I have smaller ones too, but I'm going to use this one because I do want a little bit more of what I'm putting on in the place I'm putting it on. So we're going to go in with that same shade. Remember, we used, and you're using what you have. Okay, so whether it be a neutral palette or whatever the case may be, you're going dark, second dark, medium, and then light. So unless you're using two colors, dark and then light. Dark all over wash, light in the center. So that's if you have eyes similar to mine, or even trying to pick up the ones and twos from what I'm doing right now. So I used this one, the dark one, then I used this one, then I used this one. Now I'm going over here, right? This one right here. Look at that. Yeah, I probably didn't need to knock that off. I probably needed the intensity of that. But you see how buttery that is? So I'm going to put it right here. You saw that, right? You saw that. Now, you remember how I used the eyeshadow to bring it down a little bit just to create, what I'm saying, that curvature and towards my nose. I'm putting this above it. I'm not trying to wash it out. I'm putting it above it just like that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, look at that color. Look at that color. And I am just patting it a little bit above and just creating a shape. Do you see how I'm doing that? Oh my goodness, that color alone. I didn't even knock it off. I just pressed it in there again just to do the other side. I am like, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. When you're playing with color, let the color come out. No shame. Let the color come out. You see how makeup makes people happy? It does for me. It does for me. What? Okay, next. We're gonna put on a lid. I just what? I could stay here for another 5 minutes. let's talk about the color. But we got to keep it rolling. I'm gonna use a little bit of mascara just to join my lashes with the lashes, just a little bit. I like this too because when I'm ready to take off the false lashes, it doesn't rip my lashes out, you know? Gives it a sense of security and blends in with it, but doesn't damage as I'm taking the lashes. So I'm just pressing my lashes into the lashes just a little bit, and I can tell that it's still drying. You want to make sure your lashes are dry before you do this because you're pulling the false lashes itself, and it might move, right? But because I'm so used to doing this, I didn't press too much, I didn't roll too much, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying, too much, flick too much for it to be moved. I will be putting mascara on my bottom lash line, same mascara. You can use something more defined, more, the wand could be more where it's going to separate each lash. Or you can use the tip of the wand and just go like this on your lashes, whichever, if you just have one mascara, use what you have. I'm just giving you different options and different varieties and know how to use it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because of the lashes. Like I want it to correspond with the bottom, but I'm only going to focus more on the middle because my lashes are long. My bottom lashes are very long. So I'm just going to focus in the middle area here. And you might want to use a waterproof one because if you notice you get raccoon eyes from mascara, it's because of the concealer and it could be because of the mascara. So you want to make sure it's waterproof. You want to also make sure that your concealer is locked in with setting powder or even setting spray. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not trying to go all over. No, this is the focal point and then the bottom just a little bit, right? Looks nice. I was going to put white eyeliner or beige eyeliner. I'm not going to do that because it's going to make my eyes more open and make it more like candy-like or cartoonish-like. I'm not going for the full cartoon. I'm going for an effect color that's it's fun and playful for the outfits I'm going to be putting on because I'm going to do wear your tings like right after I do this. Love that episode. Wear your tings then, wear your tings. Wear your tings. All right, so lips. We're going to do a nice nude. We're going to do something that will show our lip line, the fullness of it. Of course, you know me, I like the pout. And just mute it out a little bit because the eyes are saying enough. Even the nails are saying enough. The eyes are saying enough. I know, I did my nails again. I didn't put up a video. It might be, I'll do the next one in the vlog. But I have been taking them off because I've been working. And I do play around with it. But for the vlog and for the balance of my life, you're not going to see too much art play. So I didn't put in the vlog, but I just did this quickly last night as I felt inspired. I'm just like, okay, let's just do this. Let's play with some blooming gel. Love it, but it will be coming out soon because I'm going back to work next week. We just got time for the vlogging and spending time with you right now. Hence, so let me know if you like the nail videos. Let me know if you like all of that. I could pop it in the shorts every time I do a design, but it's not going to be that frequent because schedule has changed. Okay, let's go with the lips. We're going to do a nice cocoa. This is cocoa lip liner. And remember, I have the plumping gloss on. I still have it on. I still have it on. You might want to wipe it off. It'll still be moisturized, which is good, right? You could take a paper towel and wipe it off, which I'm going to do because I realize I got to do that. It's too. And remember all the stuff that you have put on in terms of foundation, you want to wipe it off your lips too, right? So you can use makeup wipe. It'll leave your lips a little bit moist before you put on the liner and all that stuff if you have dry lips and you're not drinking your water. I'm just saying. Or you could wipe off what you put on because what I put on, it's not gummy, but it is moisturizing. So it will be soft enough for what I got to put on next. So I wipe it, but I don't wipe past my lip line. I wipe within this area here. So I go and I wipe. So you have the foundation around your lip line if you're creating, especially with lip liner. And if your lips are discolored, you can put foundation on your lips, lock it with a little bit of powder, and then put the lip liner on. Okay, that's just a hint. I'm okay with my lip shade. So, but I just want to make sure I didn't wipe off the foundation on the outer parts because even if you want to draw outside your lip line, you want to at least keep a little bit of color there on the outer parts. And so if you have your sponge or the brush that you put the foundation on and you did wipe it off, just use that and just go over your lips a little bit because it blends in with the makeup look. I don't need it right now because I like my lip color, but because of the lip liner, it depends on what color you're using. You want it to be more pronounced if it's washed with your foundation or washed with a little bit of concealer and pressed with powder because then when you put it on, it's like, there, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I don't really need it, but I'm just showing you an example of how you can do it, whether the foundation's on here or the foundation's on here, you go, okay? Because then it shows it. Blends your lip color out, washes it out a little bit, and then when you put the liner on, I think I said it 3 times out, the color that you put in will stand out and show, right? So I'm gonna go with a cocoa color, which is a brown but more warm brown on on my lip. You can go past it. Sometimes I go past it, but my eyes are enough, so I'm just staying within. I don't want my lips to be the focal point. Now, when you're doing it, it doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be like don't relax. Relax when you're doing it. And even if your pencil's not sharp, that's okay. Because whatever you're putting on top is gonna smudge it out. Just move it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's times, you're doing the reds and all those colors, you want it to be perfect. But we're doing nudes and we don't need to. We're just gonna place the dark on the out and then we're gonna on the outer skirts of our lip. And you're just gonna take the pencil and just shade it. You're not pressing it in, especially with this look. And even if you scribble in like this, and then you're gonna go on top with either a gloss or a lipstick. So I'm gonna go with the lipstick. This one, I think it's Teddy. I put this in here a long time ago because it broke. When you have a MAC, they're getting better. I think they're better. I think it's our pressure. When you have a MAC lipstick and you're using it and you whirl it up like this and you're using it and it bends and you're like, oh gosh, you try to keep it. So you roll it down, you use the tip of it. That's what happened. And I was like, yo, I love this shade, especially finding a nude for my complexion. I'm like, dang, and working at MAC, I still was going through them trying to find it, and I found it and I broke it, put it in here, been walking with it, love it. And especially since it's in this for myself, I could just put my brush in it. But for clients and stuff like that, as I have a lipstick palette, I use a spatula to get it out. But this, I can use a spatula or I can use the brush needed to put the lipstick on. So yeah, long and short. I know that was a long story, but this is a spatula. Take it out, put it like use the brush and da da da. Cross contamination, you look at sanitation, you're looking out for that and not doing that, right? But this is my personal thing, so I'm gonna dip in. But just in case for your kit, that was a tip. Okay, those containers you have, get the spatula, take it out, put it on the back of your hand or put it on the spatula itself in terms of, okay, mix your stuff, apply, especially when it comes to clients and stuff like that, to be sanitized, to have everything sanitized and sterile. But if you need to heat it up, some people use lighters and stuff like that. But again, we use the back of the hand if the person trusts us, and we come in clean doing it. Okay, now I'm going off in terms of the kit, going off in terms of an artist, but I'm just trying to at least help you because then you know the balance, your own things and then the kit things, but you're still practicing sanitation and hygiene and clean and cleanliness and order, right? Okay, long and short. So I'm gonna use this one. She's just a little, not pea size, small because it's opaque. Opaque means that the color is dominant. It's not sheer, it's not see-through. Opaque means it's like true to its color, and that's exactly what you're going to see. I will consider I just showed you, I looked at it, I felt happy. I felt happy. I was like, yeah, maybe I should use that. Maybe I should. We'll see. I just finished showing you. I might use a little bit of this in the center. I might. Oh, I got Mac all up in here, man. Mac. They look like bullets. You notice that? I got Mac. Man, I got Mac. All of these. They look like little bullets, eh? But yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Bro, see how moisturizing that is? I did use it yesterday, so that's why. That's the part of the lip liner. But look how rich and shiny and moisturizing that is. I just might. Because the eyeshadow is more satin and it will correspond with it. I'm going to put that off this side, but we're going to use this for now. All that talking. Come on. Come on. I'm gonna look for a synthetic brush. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. I use smaller brushes, synthetic. It doesn't have to just be a lip brush. I do like my lip brushes. I do like my nail brushes that I use as a lip brush, but I do like this one. It's a little bit wide. It's gonna go where I want it to go. I don't need it to be so narrow because I'm spilling it on certain areas of my lip, right? Okay, so that's it, center. It's fairly light. So you could put a gloss on it, mute it out, but it looks like it's gonna rain. Is it just me? It looks like it just went dark. Wow. So I am going to use the other lip stick And I knew it. You know, when you see something, you're happy, you're like, yeah, that will work with it. Go with it. I felt that. I was like, yeah, that would be it. Especially as an artist, we put everything out. We're like, okay, we know the look. We went through the consultation. We put it out. But then when we're doing it, we're executing. We're like, you know what? Maybe vamp would look good, or maybe Russian red would look good, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, oh, and we whip it out so it should be in front of us. That's part of executing a look and seeing what would work with it, even though you already implemented it and had an idea. You touch by the things that you see it and you pick it up. You're like, I touch it, and yeah, that works. So that's how I felt when I picked this up. So I'm gonna. Hopefully you guys are tracking with me because I know as artists we go way off, right? I like this one because it's more of a peachier color. The other one was more not ashy. It looks like it's ashy, but more of a cool nude. And I need more of a peach, and peachy nudes for my complexion works really well. So I'm just gonna do that, yeah, automatically, automatically, automatically. So you notice I just went in the center, opened my mouth up, did that. Ah, that's it. Throughout the day, I'll just use some lip gloss. That's it. I know it seems bright, but we're going for a bright, intense eyeshadow look with a nuded lip. And trust me, when I put on my outfit, you're gonna see how all this is just washed away compared to the outfit I'm gonna put on. So it corresponds with the whole entire outfit that I'm gonna be putting on. All right. So yeah, throughout the day, or even through my shots as I do my shorts, ratings, I will just put on a lip gloss. I'll just put on like a nude lip gloss, or even just a clear. I said that twice, didn't I? A clear, wet lip gloss, if anything, or just continue with the lipstick, but it's already shaped, so I don't have to worry about the external. Okay, so let's do the last spray because I think this is probably over an hour. No, I hope we're we're getting to know each other better through all of this, aside from the makeup, right? One more shot, one more shot of the setting spray. Got to make it last because when I do my pictures and my videos, I want to make sure it's locked in. But you see how subtle that looks? Even though it looks bright, trust me when I say like the nails and the makeup look bright right now, but the outfits I'll be putting on, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You're gonna see. Oh, make sure it doesn't catch nose hairs. But yeah, so this is the makeup look. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish my hair, and you're gonna see the makeup and the hair, and then later on in my shorts, if you see it, I'll probably be before I post this because this is I'm ahead with my videos, and it feels good because then I don't feel pressure. I don't like the pressure. I like to be organized. Hence the agenda. Everybody should have an agenda. Anyhow, let me do my hair and let me show you the overall makeup look for Makeup Mondays. Oh yeah, if anyone's wondering, I didn't even mention that. Usually I do. What I have on my head, because I usually tie my hair or get it out of the way or pull it back, or while we're doing the Makeup Mondays, right? I got this net from the local hair store, and it's just to cover your hair. I know a lot of chefs or a lot of people with long hair will put it on, but it's more of like a crochet like material. Is not thin. I know the finer nets are appropriate for cooking and stuff, but for locks, oh my gosh, this is so lightweight. It stretches. The only thing is, and I slept with it one time, is that it leaves a demarcation line if you are to have it right here. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that again. So I push it past my hairline, get my hair out of the way instead of tying it, because sometimes with locks it's extra sensitive, and you know what I'm talking about. It's extra sensitive. You tie it for a while, you put it in the ponytail, you're manipulating it. If you can handle it, you'll do it. But trust me, when you start wearing your natural hair, you're more sensitive, your scalp is more alive, and you're more aware. So I just jumped back onto this while I put on my makeup. I'm like, let's get my hair out of the way and jump back on it. This is what it looks like. Isn't that nice? Yeah, it works. I won't sleep with it, but I'll put it on just before I put on my makeup and stuff like that, or even when I get ready. Just wanted to, yeah, I was like, let me tell them about this. Let me tell them about it. Let me do my hair.
Usually I don't post. Usually I don't post, but I want the world to know. Time to pull a drop top out. Summer nights, it's a vibe, yeah. We've been keeping it in the house. Netflix and chillin', I GDMing, yeah.
Okay, so I just finished my hair. I put it up high in a ponytail. I'm gonna do it a little bit higher because it's supposed to fire out and it's supposed to go well with the outfit. Let me show you the back. this is the final look. Check out some of my shorts, check out some of my other Makeup Monday videos, and hopefully you enjoyed this one as much as we had a key. Hopefully you enjoyed this one and hopefully you learned a lot from it. I'll see you on the next Monday on Makeup Mondays. Okay, so this is how the makeup look looks natural lighting. So again, when you're putting on your makeup with the ring light and all stuff, it's intense and it washes certain things out. But when you have the natural lighting and you see how it looks, how it blends in, how, what you're trying to do has been accomplished because I wanted my eyes to pop. Mission well done, right? So now we got to put on the outfits. Now we got to put on the outfits. You'll see that in wearing my tings, in my shorts, and maybe in a vlog. I might do a vlog today, I'm not sure, but you're more than welcome in the vlogs, which are for Saturdays and Wednesdays, and motivational speaking in terms of truth, okay, and the way God has done certain things for me, and as He allows me to speak life into you, you'll see some of those postings periodically here on Anne's Touch. Again, thank you for subscribing, getting notifications. Welcome for all that. If this is for you, I pray that you are blessed. So let's look good while we are blessed. Let's look good while we're doing it, man. Let's do this. I mean, like God's way, and as He changes us, right? Because that's what He's doing. We're a work in progress, even in the thing. And as He changes us, we change too.